Right, let's start here for you. Small businesses and households are feeling the brunt of the electricity crisis. Rolling blackouts are expected to reach as high as stage 6 today. This means South Africans will be without power for at least 6 hours in 24-hour period. Our reporter Lindo Kuhle joins us now from Johannesburg to give us more details about this particular what people are experiencing. Lindo, in terms of small businesses and people basically affected, what types of plans are they making, if any, to try and keep their lights on?
Well, Maseko, I can tell you that one of the people we spoke to is the mayor for the city of Johannesburg, Mpho Phalatsi, who was at an event of opening up a mall, saying that this is a signal of the recovery of the sector of, pushing the economy. But I can tell you that in terms of contingencies, we understand that this establishment that has been opened here is 40% dependent, not dependent on issues of Eskom and all of that, so the general grid. And we do understand that it also houses some of those small businesses, but of course you would need them to be in charge of the situation for these businesses to thrive. Let's speak to the CEO, Mr. Leon, here, just to give us a sense from Redefine about some of the things that they are doing here. First of all, I must say it's an important occasion where you're opening up a mall. It's not just as insignificant as I say. There's a lot of people, livelihoods that will be helped by this. But take me through that, what you have been able to achieve today, but also give me a sense really in terms of how conducive is the environment in terms of business, because there are issues of service delivery that we know of, there are issues of power cuts, Eskom is implementing a load shedding. So just give me a sense really of some of those things and how businesses are dealing with them.
Certainly, look, we are very proud to be opening Quena Square, a 210 million rand development, 10,000 square meters of retail space. And for us, the most pleasing aspect of this is that we managed to get the centre fully let during the height of COVID. So we started this development just as COVID and the pandemic set on, and during that time we were very successful with the leasing. So that, in our mind, gives the indication of the confidence of the community as well as the tenants in this area. You're absolutely right. In terms of the economic challenges that we all face will also impact retail. And those are the things I think that as a collective we need to work on. And it's not necessarily COVID related, it's more the economy. The issues around Eskom is well documented, and as we experienced today and the rest of this week under level 6 and such like. That's why initiatives such as this, as we've got here, as you rightly mentioned, 40% of our electricity at this centre will be generated from solar PV. So that's something that we try to encourage throughout our portfolio, not just from being able to mitigate some of the challenges that Eskom pose, but also from a sustainability point of view. It's the right thing to do. We're blessed in the country with ample sunlight. So in our mind, the more we can do of this, the better for everyone. And you're absolutely right. Development such as this is also from an economic development point of view, creates jobs. From a tenanting perspective, obviously the tenants themselves will employ people, and that in itself will have a ripple effect in the economy. So from that perspective, we're very excited about this development. And we certainly believe it will do well. In terms of the node, it is a very busy node. We're very pleased with the confidence from our tenants. And we're very confident it's going to be very successful.
Surely people cannot be faulted for having skepticism, those investors that might be questioning issues around all of those things, basic service delivery, as well as the issues of a consistent power source. But you have innovated something here that can thrive within that environment. What's the advice then to businesses, especially small businesses, in terms of when they start up some of their businesses, around how they need to adjust here? Because it is not just about government doing it, but it's also about them innovating to ensure that they thrive in the current aspect of things.
That's why we were so encouraged by some of the comments that the executive mayor, Mpho Phalatsi, made around the reasons that got her involved in politics, where she said she was also faced with all these challenges, as you rightly mentioned, and she said enough complaining. She wanted to do something about it and offer her own service, and that's simply something that we also embrace, and an ethos that we firmly believe in. You're quite right. There's many things we can complain about in this country. From a political perspective, economic perspective, we all understand there's upheaval. But as a country, I think we need to look forward. We need to hold hands and join forces. And jointly, I think we can overcome this. Despite all the challenges we've had in the last 2 years, from the pandemic to the looting to the unfortunate flooding and such like, as a country we have managed to get through that. And that is in my mind, evidence of the resilience of the people of South Africa. And that's exactly something like this in our mind, hopefully can serve as another motivation for those smaller businesses to say, guys, we're all in this together. What we need to do is look forward and face these challenges head on.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for now. And I know you're still engaging with some people there, so I'll let you go for now. Thank you so much. That is the CEO of Redefine, Mr. Leon Kok, just giving us a sense, really, of some of the innovation that goes into these malls. And I think it's a form of, innovation that is responding to the issues that we're facing as a country. One of them, of course, the one we are focusing on today is the issue of Eskom, the inconsistent supply of power. And basically, they're telling us that this particular establishment, it is new, it is modern, but it is also one that tries to cushion against the issues of power outages. They have a 40% non-reliant in terms of the grid, and they're saying that this is a matter of having businesses do the same thing, follow suit in terms of innovating, so that they are able to also thrive in whatever the issues and crises that we face as a country, but that they're able to keep their lights on and move on in terms of ensuring that they thrive in their businesses.
All right, Linda Guhle in Johannesburg. In fact, we are joined now by Nobesuthu Hejana, who's in Cape Town for us. Nobesuthu, I know you've been speaking to ordinary South Africans, in terms of the plans that they are making to try and make sure that at least they have warm water, etc. What have they told you, especially about the cost of trying to get alternative power?
Well, Masego, earlier on we were in Langa, and then we visited Bishop Lavis, where we heard from residents who were saying that they pay more money for electricity, but they are still not exempt to the load shedding, and saying that government must create alternatives, just like the city of Cape Town that is currently using the hydroelectric plant in Steenbras, pumping water to ensure that some of its customers, or customers that are supplied by the city of Cape Town, they do enjoy stage 4. But we know that stage 6 is expected to start at 4 this afternoon until 10. But we are here in Bella speaking to business owners, especially those who are running small businesses. And in fact, I'm joined by Mr. John Roger, who's just going to be telling us about the impact of load shedding. Sir, earlier on we saw there was a customer here, and you were telling me when it's load shedding, especially this area that is supplied by Eskom, things are a bit tough.
Yes. For example, yesterday we were struggling because of electricity load shedding. Load shedding came around 2, and we expected to return around 4. But unfortunately, we just be surprised to see that it's like double, making double. Instead of coming around 4, but comes around 8, around 6. So we were surprising, and we lost a lot of customers. And as a small business, we depend on this. We pay rent on this. Our students going to school because of this. So we pay the rent here. We pay the rent where we are staying. So it is difficult, very difficult to us when load shedding is coming on stage 6. So we are very uncomfortable for load shedding.
And you were telling me, as a small business, obviously you cannot afford to buy a generator because of the expenses that you've mentioned. Just tell us, how much do you per month spend on electricity?
Yes, exactly, on a generator, because it's a small business, we are not afford to buy a generator. And load shedding is affecting us, because we are not getting more money on the end of the month, because the money we're supposed to get when the customer comes and they go without being cut, so it's like we don't get much money. So I can say maybe on month we can maybe 3,000, 4,000, for example, like that.
And that money you still have to divide amongst the employees and ensure that you pay rates. I mean, what do you think is the alternative way to go about things? Because we know that there are certain areas around Cape Town that are still supplied by Eskom, while the city of Cape Town has also ensured that its customers, they remain on lower stages as compared to the national stage by Eskom. So what do you think should be done?
Yes, the city of Cape Town, they should see and arrange so that we can get electricity on time, and our small business can run. Because as I said, we are depending on this small business to pay rent. It comes very hard when the load shedding comes, like for instance, the whole week. So how can we pay our workers, and how can we pay electricity? How can you pay the rent money? Is very difficult to us. So the government should check this, or the city council, they should check this, the load shedding, so that they can reduce the load shedding, can become 1 or 2 stages. Then it could be so that they can afford.
Right. Well, Masego, here at this particular barber shop, it's not only they're not only cutting hair, but there are other businesses that they run. We talk about the printing and also making photocopies. So it's a wide range of customers that are expecting that they are expecting here. So he does mention that with the load shedding, it does impact the business financially, and as he mentioned that they still need to pay rent and also pay some of the workers that work here.
Nobesuthu, quite a grim picture of how this will affect black business. That was Nobesuthu Ejana in Cape Town, and earlier we also had Linda Wihle Qulu in Johannesburg.